Hey guys, Austin back here with another video, and we're going to do things a little bit different. So if you watched my past two series I did with my buddy Chris here, we talked about some concert snares that we had and some concert snare drum sticks. Now we're going to switch over to something that we do a lot more often, I feel like, than orchestral playing, is we're going to talk about drum sets. And one of the things that I always found in college is when it comes to the implements you use, like, yeah, we can talk about snare drum sticks all day. This is all personal preference. Like for today example, we're going to be using some Soph 2s. These are the hickory models. But when it comes to your drum set playing, there are two things I feel like really will be the best things you should invest in. And to me, that's good cymbals and good snare drum. Okay. Now, the kick drum I'm using today for this is part of my Ludwig accent combo. It's modified, did some restaining. I think I did some modifications to the shells. That was my quarantine project from 2020, so it's been a while, feels like. So that's what we're using today. But before we get into exactly what snare drum we're using, just for full transparency, we'll be using a set of 15-inch Meinl Byzance jazz thin hats. So today we've got another one of Chris's amazing products. This is one of his Black Swamp snare drums, and I'm going to let him talk about it just a little bit.
So thank you. This is from the Dynamicx drums brand from Black Swamp Percussion. This one is one of their special V-Tanium. It's a titanium shell veneered in real wood. In this case, it's zebrawood. And then I put these Jatoba segmented hoops on it. They're stained with like a heavy durable stain so that it can handle rim shots and things like that. If you hold it up, you can show the audience a little bit more. The inside of the shell, it is titanium, and it is water jet cut and then welded together, so it's perfectly round, and then they profile it and drill the holes and things like that. This titanium shell gives us the warmest metal, but still brighter than wood. And it makes it one of the most versatile metal drums that I own.
So back when we were in college, the first time I got to see this beauty in person is around the time you got that PDP Concept Maple kit that you had for the studio. I think at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you had the Bubinga hoops on it? Or did that not fit this?
I don't remember. I think I put these Jatoba hoops on it pretty early.
Okay.
I don't think the Bubinga hoops have ever left that carbon fiber drum since I put them on.
Fair. For reference, here's a quick clip of the moment I was talking about when we had that kit set up. So we're just going to demo this drum real quick. Recently in another YouTube series, and I'll link it down below, when Chris and a buddy of his went into a lot more detail about these drums, tuning and all that stuff. We're not going to go too deep into that. What I'm talking about here today is when it comes to investment in your drum set playing, obviously you want a good pair of sticks, okay? But at the end of the day, it's a pair of sticks. Find what is good for your hands, the style of music you're playing. We all play different. If we're going to play a lot of metal, we're probably going to be wanting thicker sticks that can handle those blast beats. If you're playing light jazz, you want like a really soft, like very light stick that's meant for those fast ride passages, or anywhere in between. Personally, I play a lot of old school gospel, so I do prefer like a lot of lighter sticks. I think I'm actually going to invest in the maple Soph 1s, but I like a drumstick that can really just be nice and soft on the ride and is really delicate on the snare. So I do like this acorn tip a lot for that. So what we're talking about today is why it's important to invest in a high quality drum to go with your kit, and maybe one day we can come in and talk about some high quality cymbals. a lot of body to this thing, and that metal inside, you're right, it's still higher pitched than regular wood, but you do feel like you're playing on a wood snare because it's got that warmth to it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what attracted me to like this series. But at the same time, like with the veneer on the top, like you really just get that sense that it's like, man, am I really playing on a metal drum? Now, of course, if you sat down and listened, you can hear it, okay? But like it really plays mind tricks on you a little bit, when, like for someone who's not used to it. And
especially in the ensemble.
Oh yeah.
When you're playing this in context with a group, you really start to understand just how versatile this drum really is.
Yeah. So for this drum, what genre do you think really fits this? If someone's looking for a drum for, like, say they're looking at this, like,
this is going to be great for live performances in large halls or outdoors on a microphone. You probably, with the wooden hoops, you probably would not play this outdoors without amplification, just because you're going to be hitting rim shots for every hit.
Yeah.
But the sensitivity of this allows for a wide range of activities, for things that are like fusion, jazz, rock kind of things, which is what I would use this for, down to like rock, southern rock, classic rock. That's going to give you the versatility to do that, because the metal drum is what you're going to need to imitate the black nickel over brass, classic, like, Black Beauties and things like that. But having a warmth of titanium, but still brighter than woods, it allows you to also, have some of those sounds like you might hear in some of the punk and alternative sounds as well.
So we're going to switch drums here in a minute. We're going to stick in the Black Swamp family. It's another snare drum that he owned and said, hey man, you want to buy a snare drum? And I'm like, yeah.
It's kind of our theme today.
So let's switch some drums right now. So again, sticking with the Black Swamp family, this is another drum of mine that used to belong to Chris. All right, so since this was yours, I feel like it'd be appropriate for you to introduce this one to us.
Sure. So again, this is from the Dynamicx drums line from Black Swamp Percussion. This is a unibody cherry shell, and unibody means steam bent solid shell. So it's one ply of wood that gets bent and glued in a circle with like a scarf joint, and then it gets put in a CNC machine to cut it down to shape, cut the bearing edges, and drill the holes in it. The tuning range of something like this with a solid shell is just going to be a little bit wider, both tuning and dynamic range, compared to a ply drum shell.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to a lot of the other drums that I've owned, I've had this one deep before, and obviously right now I've got this thing cranked. So recently I had this drum used in a show choir setting for a student of mine. We wanted something that had a really good bright pingy projection,
sure,
but at the same time wasn't too overpowering. Now this thing has body to it. Like, you get this thing going, and holy crap, can those rim shots really sing. So I've got this drum cranked pretty high. So for tuning references, on the bottom of this drum, I have an Evans 500 Reso head, so the thickest one they offer. I will be honest, I needed a bottom hit quick, and it was the only one they had in stock. Personally, I would put a 300 on this, something that's not too sensitive, but at the same time not too heavy. On the bottom, I've just got the stock wires that came with it, but honestly, really good wires to come with a drum. And on the top, I have an Evans G1 Coated head. Typically, I would choose the Genera. Again, I was looking to experiment a little bit with sound, but again, it was all they had in stock.
Yep.
So you work with what you got, but a lot of times Evans has some drum heads that you can really get a good tuning range out of, especially within the Genera line. But again, preference for me when it comes to drum heads is either Genera or the Genera Dry. that's cranked.
Oh yeah, and I think if you put the tip further in and then go off center.
Them rim shots, man. Dang. She sings. So this one is more of my rock pop snare because it's got that. Got that, just that punch to it that you hear. I attribute the sound this gives to those like early 2000s punk rock bands, like that emo scene phase. It's just like something that just really pierces the ear. So thank you guys for tuning into these series of videos that I've been able to produce with my buddy Chris. Chris, thank you so much for coming out. Obviously letting me use some of your equipment, the snare drums we've had, the sticks. It's been great. Obviously I want to do this again sometime. Maybe we can talk about some cymbals. The goal of this is to get you guys to understand that, you know, you got to go out and choose. It's an investment, right? If you're truly wanting to take your playing and your career to a next level, invest. Now, I'm not saying invest in 12 drum set snares, but invest in one to where you can get that good range out of it. Be like, oh, I'm going to a gospel gig. I can make this a little bit more sensitive. Oh, I'm going to a punk rock gig. Oh, I can crank it up. Or do I want that low thuddy sound? Am I going to this, or that? Go out and invest in what's best for you and what you do. But go out and play test before you buy. So again, guys, I'm Austin. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you, Chris, for coming out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. So guys, to wrap up this video real quick, I just want to say a quick thank you to my buddy Chris, who was generous enough to donate some spare drum heads that he have that obviously going to be using for some experiments of mine when it comes to sound and also for my band program here at my school. In case you guys didn't know, that's where we filmed on location here at Westside Middle School in Charleston. And I'm really grateful that one has a nice, generous stock of heads that he was able to donate to us. So real thank you. We're able to get an orchestral 200 snare side and a Strata Staccato 700. These are the ones I asked if he had any extras in stock. And thank you, Chris, for able to donate these to our program.